guys, welcome back to another top movies of the month ranking video, and of course we are ranking all of the movies that I watched in March. Yes, I have just got Letterboxd up on my laptop here, and March was an absolute stormer of a month. I have in turn watched a total of 16 new movies in March, would you believe it? A pretty stacked month, to be honest. Some big names in this, some pretty small independent films, but also some big surprises, I would say, in terms of, you know, some of the reviews and the scores. But yeah, let's get into it, of course. So, in at number 16th place, we have, of course, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. I gave that film a 2-star. One of the latest movies of the month. That came out like last week now. Watched on Good Friday. Was an absolutely bonkers fest. An amazing looking film. Amazing CGI. Don't get me wrong. An amazing soundtrack I'm sure it's going to have on all the speakers and stuff in people's home cinemas and whatnot. But the human character element of these films is such an opportunity that they keep missing movie after movie, and I feel like after watching Godzilla vs Kong the day before, they definitely nosedived a bit there in terms of that. I think they very much missed an opportunity to continue a story on, and yeah, very much a shame. Again, like I say, it's going to be an amazing 4K 100%. Let's get up the list though, because we do have a lot to cover, of course. In at number 15, we have Mother's Instinct. This is the new movie starring Anne Hathaway and Jessica Chastain, and this is probably my first miss of the month, because I really thought this would be a top tier film based on the trailer, but that's the problem. The trailer basically gives every single thing away about the movie. The twist at the end is very predictable. There is some people that actually do like this film, but for me, I put it in the camp of just, I didn't like it. It was very easy to see the foreshadowing of what was going to happen, which did take you out the film because you kind of knew what was going to happen as and when we were going through the movie. I thought the performances of both actresses were brilliant. Of course, two amazing actresses that definitely have got massive awards and stuff for the work they've done previously. But I think in this opportunity, in this movie, I think they missed an opportunity in this. I think it was just missed. It was bad. It just didn't work for me. It was dull, and there was no real care about the characters, what they were going through, the trauma. I couldn't have cared. So yeah, 2-star for me. Up the list then, now in the first streaming movie review of the month, 14th place, we have put Spaceman, starring Adam Sandler and Paul Dano. 2.5-star. And again, this was like, I was really looking forward to this, like a space film, sci-fi, stuck on a planet, you know, yeah, a real big miss for me. I thought Adam Sandler was brilliant in his performance. I thought he played it really well. It's one of the most serious films I've ever seen Adam Sandler in, and I thought he was good. But that's as far as it went. You know, it was an absolutely bonkers movie in terms of him talking to a spider all the way through it, and we didn't even know how the spider actually got inside the thing, or if he was actually hallucinating, or if it was thing. There was a lot of questions at the end of the film. I found it hard to follow, and yeah. But aesthetically, I thought it looked great. It had really good cinematography shots in there, and there was some like real nice like outlining of certain things, and it just popped. The movie did pop on Netflix, I will give them that. It looked great, sounded good as well, but that's as far as it will go. It is not good at all. Slightly up the list then, now in number 13, and this is the latest movie that I've actually watched, and this is Kung Fu Panda 4. This is obviously the 4th movie in the franchise, which I have actually watched all the movies recently and ranked them and everything yesterday. But Kung Fu Panda, for me, I gave it 2.5-star. And yeah, it's probably dull. It's one of the most dullest ones in the franchise. It didn't enlighten my soul or give any ambition to anything. It was just boring, and you know, losing the Furious 5 and not getting those in when they were like vital characters in the first 3 films, and then they're just basically busy. You know, it's just dull writing. If you can't get the actors to come on, recast them. It is animation, for God's sake. You're not replacing Poe, which would be a massive thing to lose Jack Black, but you know, you can get other people that sound like Angelina Jolie, for instance. You know, no one's going to really miss that, in my opinion. So I don't understand why they wrote those guys out of it, but yeah, one of those things. So in at number 12 then, slightly higher up in the list, another 2.5 star, and this is Late Night with the Devil. This is a really weird movie in terms of a comedy, stroke horror, stroke thriller, stroke drama. It had a lot of different genres going on in it, and it's basically following the story of Jack Delroy, who is played by David Dastmalchian. Yeah, 2.5 star I gave the film. Had Tale of Two Halves, really. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. How the film was actually shot is very unnormal in terms of mainstream movies. I liked some aspects of it, but I didn't like other aspects of it. If you want to know more info, I'd recommend watching the actual review, because I did go into a bit more detail of that. But it's one of those, you either love it or you hate it, and for me, I was on the fence, hence the 2.5 star. Number 11 then, and we have another streaming movie review, and this of course is the one on Amazon Prime. This is Roadhouse. I gave it a 2.5 star. I thought it was like on the better side of 2.5 star. Real good choreography between Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor. Real good acting from Jake Gyllenhaal, as much as it pains me to say it as a Taylor Swift fan. But I think he did do really good in the film. He was 100% ripped for the role. Obviously, he trained like crazy to play this character. And I think he did a good job. The whole concept was pretty cool. But that's it. I thought the villains were quite dull. And, I think his name was Billy Magson. I think he was pretty dull, really, in terms of his role as a villain or a nemesis of kind of controlling things. But yeah, that's my only weakness really in it. I think it was nice to see. It could have been better, don't get me wrong. I haven't seen the original, but for me it was quite midpoint. Felt like a streaming movie. At sometimes did feel like a cinema movie, but it's in that middle camp. But on the top side of that. Number 10 then now, and we have a 3-star movie. This was probably a big surprise for me. This wouldn't have been one that I would have watched, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, and this is Lisa Frankenstein. I gave it a 3-star. It was a very interesting movie in terms of, an edgy Halloween movie, which I'm sure we don't get enough of, to be honest. Everyone watches horrors rather than actual dramas or, good acted movies. It really gave the impression of like an independent movie, it actually gave the impression of being very small budget, but done very, very well. Stars Catherine Newton and also Cole Sprouse, who played Frankenstein, and Catherine played Lisa. And yeah, they were really good. It was like a love story, but then like a weird, edgy, creepy, comedy drama aspect. Really good. 3-star. Enjoyed it. Up the list slightly then, we've got number 9, and this is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Again, a real big miss for me. I hit the heights. Really did love Afterlife, and I do love Afterlife. It's a massive step down in terms of that. 3-star though is still decent, still done really well. CGI amazing. This one I think just had way too many characters in it. It had like obviously the whole new generation, but it also tried to shoe in a lot of the old generation. And obviously in Afterlife there was a good balance of the new generation tying in with the old, but then the old show up very much at the end, and they played like cameo roles and supporting roles. I feel like they were trying to do too much, and they had way too much going on, trying to fit everyone on for screen time. It just seemed chaotic at sometimes, and then adding in new characters like Kunal Najini, that guy. Adding in new characters there as well. It was just a recipe for disaster. Like it was just, yeah. Number 8 then, and another horror movie, another 3-starer as well, and this is Imaginary. It's all about having an imaginary friend, and the imaginary friend is like a demon that's taking over this child. Very interesting. Did review badly with people, but for me, I actually was on the other side. I actually did enjoy it quite a bit. I thought it was it looked great. I thought it had some good acting moments in there. I thought it had a good like twist towards the end. I thought the twist was pretty interesting, and it actually did fool me, to be honest. Many people got up and left, and then was like, oh, actually there's something happening here. They sit back down. And you can appreciate films like that when there's really ingeniousness there. It does feel like a one-time watch though, because obviously the impact won't be there the next time you watch it. So I feel like watching this, you'll have to watch it a couple of times, months apart or whatever. But yeah, all in all, 3-star, not a bad film. We are getting up the list there now. These videos are getting longer and longer to do the more and more films I see, but I'm trying to watch as much as I can. Number 7 then is Drive Away Dolls. Drive Away Dolls is very interesting. This is the movie directed by Ethan Coen, so one half of the Coen brothers. And again, another interesting, surprising movie. This is very similar to Lisa Frankenstein in terms terms of having a bit of a cult, small independent movie feel to it. You get Margaret Qualley in the movie and Geraldine Viswanthan. Now, Margaret Qualley I thought was brilliant in this film. I think she was fab. I think she played her role of Jamie really well. In a nutshell, they are driving away, two girls, drive-away dolls, they're doing a drive-away, and it's a thing in America where they basically go to a car place and say, do you need someone to drive a car? Yep, I need someone to do a drive-away to Florida, and they happen to need to go there, and they drive the car there to be sold. And yeah, it's a bit of a pickle. Basically, they drive a car they shouldn't, and it's got like a dead body or whatever in the boot. So yeah, they're in a bit of a crisis, but it's a bit of a comedy, bit of a drama, really interesting, and I gave it a 3-star. But the best 3-star of all, and one I did enjoy, and it was hilarious actually, Ricky Stenicki starring Zac Efron as well as John Cena. And yeah, it is what it is. Ricky Stenicki, I'm not going to say too much about it, but I recommend it if you like your comedies and all that. It's on Amazon Prime. I thought it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. John Cena was, playing the character that he always plays, but he did it really, really well, I thought. Zac Efron, very much a supporting role, and, was playing, he's done better things, don't get me wrong, but I really enjoyed it for a streaming movie. It was fun, good time with it, good laugh, and yeah, it just reminded me of certain things back in the day that I used to watch, so a bit of nostalgia there for those like early 2000 comedies and stuff like that. But yeah, Ricky Stenicki, 3-star. So we're up into the top 5 now. God, we are literally going through these pretty fast. Number 5 is another streaming movie review, and it's actually my favourite streaming movie review of the month, and I gave it to Damsel. It's a Netflix original movie starring Millie Bobby Brown. And yeah, this is another one of those films where I think I was very much on par with what people thought. I gave it a 3.5 star. It very much was interesting. Basically, she's playing this like lady of this like house, and she's going to get married into this thing. But when she goes to do the ceremony before she's going to marry him, she just gets like dumped, and the royal family literally betray her, and they're paying off an old debt with a dragon. And she is a damsel in distress. So this damsel, obviously Millie Bobby Brown, is trying to fight her way out of this dragon and all of that. Again, interesting. It was, it reminded me of Disney. It reminded me of Maleficent, I said in the review. Interesting concept. Really enjoyed it. Millie Bobby Brown was pretty good. And yeah, it looked pretty good for a Netflix film. Very nice watch it was. I enjoyed it. Thoroughly thought it was brilliant. Pleasant experience. Number 4 then, and another movie in the cinema now. This is Origin. I gave Origin a 4-star. It's a very deep film, I will say that. There is so much depth to this film in terms of, talking very much a lot about Nazis, anti-Semitism, all of that, as well as segregation and racial issues in the South. A very deep story, very unexpected, but done perfectly, in terms of giving it a 4-star. I thought it was a nice film, but yeah, that's all I can say about it. Very good experience, very nicely shot, but very deep subject to take in, Top 3 then now, and another surprise. This is a big surprise for me, this was. Number 3, I gave 4-star to Immaculate. I thought Immaculate was not immaculate, but great. Sydney Sweeney is playing a nun, and it is a horror thriller type film. I probably wouldn't say it's a horror. I didn't get no scariness in it, but it was definitely gory. Some blood moments in there, some creepy sounds and all that. I personally cannot wait to see Immaculate again. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. I thought Sydney Sweeney, I was so emotionally invested in her story. I thought she did great to portray the character. The whole concept of it I thought was interesting. And yeah, it was just really interesting. So yeah, that's my 3rd best movie of March, Immaculate. Top 2 then now, and number 1, I think everyone's going to know what that is, but number 2 very much surprised me. Did not expect to go and see this film, but it's probably going to be one of my films of the year, and this is Cabrini, an amazing true story of a nun who travels from Italy, an Italian immigrant who travels to New York in America, wants to make a difference to help all the Italian immigrants over there. She goes against all the churches, like, advice and everything, goes against all the American people and the mayor and everything like that, and really goes hard on herself. It's amazing, inspiring story of a true person that lived and all that, and just totally done great with a very small budget. I thought it was fab. I can't wait to watch her again. 4.5 star, amazing performance from the lead actress, Cristiana Del Anna. And yeah, honest to God, Cabrini, you should check it out. But nothing's going to come close to one of my absolute films of the year. Of course, Dune Part 2, I gave a 5 star. Oh, just absolutely breathtaking, to be honest. I've seen it twice now in the cinema. Absolutely phenomenal. Cannot wait to watch her again. A million times better than the first movie, in my opinion. It really rounds off the story exactly how I wanted it to. Really did, you know, the technology has progressed as well. You can tell the look and aesthetic and the feel of everything is just, you know, really polished. Denis Villeneuve has done a brilliant job at selling the whole world of Dune and all of that. Timothée Chalamet, you know, an amazing performance and one that's gonna elevate his status even more to bigger projects, I'm sure, down the road, given how old he is. He's very young. Zendaya playing much more of a pivotal role in this film versus the first one, of course. And then we get new people like Rebecca Ferguson, Christopher Walken. Austin Butler's performance was amazing, and yeah, Léa Seydoux as well. Really good cast ensemble. Obviously, the whole score from Hans Zimmer. It really is a cinematic experience. I would put it up there with things like, you know, going to see Interstellar in the cinema and Inception back in the day. You know, those films were like real experiences, and Dune Part 2 is one of those. You need to go and see it on the biggest screen you can, with the most speakers you can, really encapsulate it. Like, I probably got to go again, to be honest. I've seen it twice. It's been out a month now. I need to go again. Like, it's one of those things. You just need to keep seeing it as many times as you can. But there it is. There's my best film of the month and all of the movies ranked from worst to best. Of course, I have done an entire video for each of these movies on the channel, and yeah, 17 this month. So again, a really busy month in terms of actually watching films. It's been a lot of films to watch, but you know, I'm trying to do much more videos. Previously, I used to do about 7 or 8 new films, so very much like doubled that. If you like that, let me know. I don't know if I'm putting too much videos up, so some advice would be quite good. You know, there's a lot of reviews that people ain't watching, but that's fine because I'm watching movies that not everyone knows about. But at the same time, I want to be able to bring that, like Cabrini. I would not have watched Cabrini. I wouldn't have. But I'm glad I did. It's actually my 5th favourite film of the year so far. So, you know, there's pros and cons to these things. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below in terms of that. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Is your list slightly different to mine? Is there any films that I missed? Let me know, and maybe I'll catch them up in April. But of course, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.